Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at how to factorize quadratics, and then as a result of this, how to solve quadratic equations using factorization. So to start off with, let's have a look at the example quadratic x squared plus 6x plus 8. And now I think the easiest way to do this is using a method called the PSF. So P standing for product means you multiply this term by that coefficient of x squared. So in this case it's 8 times 1. The sum is this middle coefficient here of x, which is 6. And now F stands for factors, which means we need two numbers that multiply to give 8, but then also add to give 6. So let's start with writing out the factors of 8. So the factors of 8 are, we have 4 and 2, and we also have 8 and 1. So out of these two, which ones also add to give 6? It's 4 and 2. So our factors are going to be 4 and 2. So with this, we now separate this middle term according to the factors we just found. What I mean by this is x squared plus 6x plus 8 will become x squared plus 2x plus 4x plus 8. What I've done there is just split this middle term according to the factors that added to give the product 8 and also the sum of 6. So with this, we can now factorize it in parts. So we'll factorize this and this part independently of each other. So x squared plus 2x, the common term there is x. And then 4x plus 8, the common term is 2. So that becomes x, 2x. Oh, sorry, no, the common term is 4, sorry, my bad. And that becomes x plus 2. Now we can see that in both of these parts here and here, they both have the common x plus 2. So what you do with this is that becomes a common factor, and then we simply put in the other bracket x, this term here, plus the term out the front of this bracket here, plus 4. And that is your answer. And if you expand that, that will give you this quadratic above right here. So let's have a look at another example. If we have the quadratic x squared minus x minus 12, how can we factorize this into two parts? So like last time, we'll have the product, the sum, and the factor. So the product is this term here multiplied by the coefficient of x squared, which is just 1. So minus 12 times 1 is minus 12. The sum is simply the coefficient of x here, which is minus 1. And then if we write out the factors of 12, we have 4, 3, 6, 2, and then we also have 12 and 1. Now we need the two terms to have a common difference of 1. and as we can see here, that's going to be 4 and 3. However, they need to add to give -1, while also multiplying to give -12. So that means we have to change the sign of either 4 or 3, as in make one negative and keep the other positive. So if we look at this, if we make 4 negative, we can see that -4 plus 3 will be -1. So therefore the factors are -4, 3. So like last time, we'll split this quadratic up into two parts according to the factors. So that will be x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 12. As you can see, this part here equals the -1x above. We're just splitting it up so that we can factorize it in two distinct groups. So let's factorize x squared minus 4x. The common term is x, so x comes out, in brackets, x minus 4, and then here 3x minus 12, the common factor is 12, so plus 3x minus 4, and then like last time we can see a common factor here of x minus 4 in both. So x minus 4 comes out, and then in the other bracket we simply put these other two terms, x plus 3, and then of course if you were to expand this, you would end up with that quadratic. So now we're going to look at how we can use this knowledge to solve quadratic equations. So let's consider the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 8x plus 8 equals 0. I'm just going to switch pen quickly. Now we approach this the same way as we approach the other questions. We simply want to factorize this. So notice now that the function is no longer monic, as in it's no longer having a 1 as the coefficient of x squared, so it's now 2, but we still multiply this term by 8 to give a product of 8 times 2 is 16, and then the sum, like last time, is simply this middle term, which is the coefficient of x, which is -8, and now we write out the factors of 16. So we have 4 and 4, 8 and 2, and 16 and 1. But notice how the sum of these two factors has to equal -8, while also having a product of 16, which means each of these terms has to be negative, as a negative times a negative is a positive. So now from this list, which factors, while multiplying to 16, also add to a sum of -8? And we can see that's -4 and -4. So our factors are -4 and -4. So now, like last time, using these factors, we split this quadratic equation up into two parts. So 2x squared minus 4x minus 4x plus a equals 0. And now we can see that simply this part here equals the -8x. We're simply just splitting it up, so then we can easily factorize it. So for the first part, the highest common factor is 2x. Remember, it has to be the highest common factor for this to work. So that's 2x, leaving x minus 2 inside the brackets. Now for the part minus 4x plus 8, the highest common factor will be -4, sorry. -4 is the highest common factor, leaving inside the brackets x minus 2 which obviously equals 0. Now, like last time, we have the common factor of x minus 2 here. So we take that out, the front, and then in the other bracket, it's going to be 2x minus 4 equals 0. And then, since this is equal to 0, one of these terms, or both, will have to equal 0. For example, we know that any number, let's say 5 times 0, will always equal 0. Always is the case. So we consider these two parts independently when they both equal 0. So x minus 2 equals 0, or 2x minus 4 equals 0. Now we just solve these two linear equations separately. We get x minus 2 equals 0, x equals 2, and then 2x equals 4, x equals 2. So therefore, x equals 2. In this case, we got the same answer twice, but usually you will get two distinct answers. Thank you.